Greetings, boss babe humans. So, this will be a little bit interesting to do a video. I want to do it outside because the lighting is gorgeous outside, but it has decided to rain a little bit, so I have a little notebook cover over the phone, and I was like, you know, part of this grant is figuring out how we overcome things in life, so we'll see. So I'm applying for this grant for a business I want to start. It's going to be called Azuray Stories, and you know, I've been a writer for several years, ever since I learned that you could use a pen to put words onto paper and people could understand them and put them in their brain, and I find that to be so intimate and beautiful. Like, your words are literally in someone's mind, which is very powerful place, and I take it with that sense of responsibility to it at the same time. So Azuray Stories will encompass both my books and a typewriting business, where I go to events. A business that's already doing it is called Typewriter Rodeo, and it's actually all over the world, which makes amazing sense. And you basically have a typewriter, and that's all you legitimately need. Like, right now I could just have a typewriter and be out in this park, which would be gorgeous, and just have a little sign saying stories for donation or stories for a set price. I think donations is the way to go, because when people decide the price, you know, there's a sense of fairness, there's a sense of giving, and there's none of that, oh, $5, is she really worth that? You know, they decide the worth, and creates more of a giving flow, I think, with that model. And with that, I'll be able to more so pursue just my career in writing and having books. A book I'm working on right now is called Loving Your Raped Body, and you know, I think we see a lot of people speaking out, the Me Too movement, like, oh, this is what happened to my body, and it's tragic and in many ways horrifying to read how much it's penetrated our society. That came out very graphic without meaning to. I'm okay with that. And, you know, there's lots of pain, and we store it in our bodies. You know, our bodies remember what happened to them. You can see it with food, like when you see a cupcake, your body knows exactly what that thing is supposed to taste like, and all the addiction and beauty rifling through your tongue and body, asking you to go eat the cupcake, to be free for a moment with that, hello fly, with that cupcake. And that's another book I'm writing. It's called Un-Americanize Yourself, and it's about bringing intuition back to food by doing things like with a sandwich or a burger. You know, as Americans, we've so much gotten into having 10 or 15 or 20 ingredients all at once and not knowing what they taste like alone. So it won't be oh, you can only eat this, you can't eat that. It's more like separate the food. You know, have a bite of the bread, have a bite of the meat, have everything be separate, so you can learn what it actually feels like. And if you want to go hardcore, you know, there's going to be different levels. I think having a diet be just one thing, and not embracing the fact that there are many types of people, you know, not wanting to, let me see how this goes without paper on top. You might get wet phone, it's okay, you're slightly waterproof. But to separate those ingredients and know what they taste like and even feel like with the body, and even wait moments in between and see how it legitimately feels with spacing between it more than I'm digesting 10 ingredients. I don't know what's happening to me. So those are the type of books I plan to write and bring to the world, and even in my short stories to people at parties and events, I want to have that sense of fun and awareness and beauty, and that, you know, it's such an old thing to tell stories. Around campfires, in general, just the moment people learned how to talk, they were telling stories to each other. God, these flies are actually beautiful. They're like blue and green. Yeah, you know, you have to tell people this herb is poisonous, it might kill your body, or stories of ancient times, or stories of love, and the meaning to existence and life, and to bring those stories to people, I think is just beautiful and powerful, and it's what I want to do. I've always been quite good at just telling a story, especially like on a moment's notice, like, okay, let's do one, we can do it now, let's see what you can see in the background. Let's go with that stone right there. Stone resting on perhaps ancient grounds, at least when you see the sun. touching down, possibly from places above. Who's to say it's not a hologram? Inside, when you touch it, there's cherries, chocolate bursting out. A box of fluff you don't know until you touch. Inside you open, perhaps mini humans crawling out. Tiny ones that can survive on rocks as food. Oh, the beauty of such a box, the imagination. Ones we used as kids, as cardboard. Played in, imagined. What now as we grow old and use them to stack up buildings? To be part of a Stonehenge, forever imagined how would it even exist? Or just a box resting on top of a ground we barely even know. But yeah, I can tell stories like that, and I really love doing children's stories. Kind of the more whimsical, the better type of thing. But let's move on to the questions. I've written them in my handy dandy little spiral thing, which is awesome. It's called like Rocketbook, and you can actually like write on it. I didn't even show you, but you can like write on it and then erase the pages and like upload them, so you're not going through a million notebooks, which I tend to do. I have giant stacks of paper at my house, just covered in words, and I'm like, man, it's almost too many to actually bring up onto a Google document or someplace that they can stay there. So this is incredibly handy for me. Number one, what makes you a badass, and why should this grant invest in you? So I think what makes me self-proclaimed badass, and I suppose claimed by other humans, have agreed to these terms. They didn't sign off, but you know, it's okay. There has to be like a tattoo with such levels that would require. But I'm very much a survivalist in a very aware type of way. I've faced the whole suicidal thing, especially after I lost religion, and I was like, oh, well, it seems like bobbleheads up there. People that if they eat anything that has knowledge in it, apparently sin come to heaven, which is one stop better than hell type place. And I was like, you know, I probably want to go to hell anyway, because those people want to knowledge and desire to question. So let's stick with them. And then I just went through a whole like, you know, why do we exist? Why does it matter when there's so much pain? How could there be a God that would create so much pain? All those types of questions. So when I decided to exist, it was much more of a decision than a, oh, you're just doing so, because I really didn't want to. Living wasn't for me. You know, I wrote about this a lot in books. I decided that the reason I would survive was to find a reason to survive and to write about it to people. Because there's a lot of suicide, and it's the second leading cause of death in Travis County for ages. I think it was 16 to 24. I don't recall the exact ages, but we are facing a time of suicide. Where people literally don't want to exist on this planet, and I decided to live to find a reason to live, and I have. The reason to live is that being human is fucking wonderful and beautiful and magical, and I face a lot of times of embracing that and realizing how powerful it is to be myself, to in every way be a human. Because it's an amazing species that has faced a lot of pain and problems and fucked up, but I think when people fuck up and they are willing to rise through it, it's incredible. It's just so beautiful, and I'm so honored to be alive to see it. And that's what makes me a badass, is I've chosen to survive, and I plan to spread that meaning of survival to other people. Why do I deserve this grant? Wants to say I deserve it. You know, I think I deserve it because I've worked to get to this point in my life where I've tried businesses and failed at businesses, and I've never, you know, it's funny, my father said it, of all the things my parents taught me something, which is really cool. Sometimes I'm like, man, I need to teach myself and be independent, and then you wonder if it was your idea or theirs, but I think this, you know, falls into a better line of that. If he was like, you're opening food trucks for other people, you're starting these businesses that are not your dream, and he was right. And so like a few weeks ago or a month ago, these trees are gorgeous behind us, I realized that I want to start my own business. I've been doing that by writing books, and I published them on Amazon, and done that. They're odd enough that I didn't go through a publisher. I wanted them to be unchanged. They're very vivid about life and the things I've gone through, because I feel like other people have. And I want to say the things that a lot of people think, but they're really scared to say, so I said them. There was unedited therapy and animal. Animal is about how we are animals, and, deny that quite constantly. Kind of breaking down the hierarchical structure of the society that I saw. The second one was unedited therapy, which was talking about my therapy sessions right after without editing them. I feel like people are scared of therapy, so write a book about talking about it. These are the two. I've got others I'm working on. Very close to Loving Your Age Body, Un-Americanize Yourself. And with this grant, I could start making myself known. I could write stories and have cards and have my name out there. It's all part of one business, Azuray Stories, because that will be my last name. Hate using Dushovsky still, doesn't feel like mine. And Azuray is actually something that we've created together. It's not his last name, nor my last name. It's one that we want for our own future. And the writing is very much part of that, and the typewriting is part of it. It's all very simultaneous and co-collaborative within their own efforts. I don't think they're having effort. I think that's just me. But so I think I deserve the grant because I've worked really hard for it, and I'm ready to do something that's my own. I have all the knowledge. I've started businesses where I was the co-person, and I've seen them all my life, and I know exactly how to start this one. I'll start it regardless of the grant, but having the grant would be incredible. Number one, as a vote of confidence, like, you've got this, girl, go on. And also for the mentorship, as I read about your journey, packing everything up in a car and moving. I've done that when I was in college. I left college, did put every possession I owned into a car, along with our 2 dogs. The moves you make. I moved to California, just uprooted everything, and there was this freedom, there was this sense of, I am my own person. It's fucking incredible. I will never regret that experience. I wound up in debt and broke a lease. I was quite naive. I kind of believed whatever my boyfriend said was true, which was not the wisest move, but it's taught me ever so much in life, and I've overcome that, and I see what to go for instead. In a relationship, even, to be very independent and not rely on the other person and their dreams, going for my own. So I really want the mentorship as well. I saw that there's years worth of mentorship, and you just seem incredible. I was reading even your own writings, and they're about light and beauty and awareness, and the part where you even put, feel your own brain. There's this part in Animal where I literally say to close your eyes, and I think you look into a mirror first, actually. And it's about feeling the animal within. Just close your eyes and very slowly stroke yourself. And feel the animal inside you. And not unrape your body, that would be, brilliant. Could work, kind of, mentally. In Loving Your Age Body, it does go into also learning to touch yourself and find your own power and your own human within your body that's been violated by another, and in some ways feels like it wasn't yours when it was. So I like that we both have a type of awareness with that, and being able to be part of the Boss Babes community, I think, will be ever so helpful, because women empower women. I mean, people empower people, but there's a lot of wisdom to women that's been denied over the centuries and beyond centuries. How have I forgotten that word? Oh shit. Yeah, centuries works. You can add them and add them and add them and stack them. But I think people were afraid of women and their wisdom and intelligence, and I think we're reaching a time where humanity's not. Wouldn't say all of humanity. All of it is. God, people like Hannah Gadsby. I just took on her voice for a second, so I recalled her, but if you get a chance to look into her, she is amazing. Androgynous. I'm also androgynous. I don't think she declared that, or just be lesbian. But it's really cool to see everyone embrace themselves and who they are. Number 2, name. Is it 3 reasons? We're just gonna hope it's 3 reasons. I'm not overdoing this. Texas needs your business and should support it. Okay, Texas. Hello. Grew up here all my life, and I know how we view sexuality. I know that there's abstinence-only teaching. I know that there's a lot of closed-mindedness, and even my parents oh my god, they basically said it was my fault that I got raped, because I don't like to wear a bra, and they're like, oh, you're tempting men into having sex, so your fault, essentially. When I heard that, I realized that the books I make, that I create, I can embrace those parts of humanity because I understand them. I know where they come from. I see them, I don't judge them, I understand them, and I think I can use that as a way to not exclude people. And I don't think excluding is always intentional. But when you call people stupid, or you think that they're closed-minded, then you empower them to be closed-minded. And you're judging them, and people that are judged don't really want to listen to you after that. And I think I have that ability to see that they're afraid. My father was having nightmares about me, being raped, and he knew that I was raped, and I think it's hard for a parent to understand how that happens in this society. They're just so afraid of people after that, so they need a reason, and me not wearing a bra could be a reason. I was wearing bras at the time it occurred, so it doesn't actually make any logical sense, but there's different mentalities to embrace, and I see those. I bring a sense of openness to Texas. I wanted to leave this state for so long, but I seem to have a contract here. I am supposed to be here for now. For now, Texas, please hear that. To help open up the minds that are here. With Azuray stories and just typewriting, that can go anywhere. That embraces any mentality. But I can see in Texas, I can see their fears. I can see maybe that little nudge that they could use to open their minds again. That sense of something more. Because I just know them, and I know this place. And so if I can write a story that just for a moment touches something in their mind, a spark that was lost, a love that got hidden. It's so beautiful. That's what I want to do. I don't know if that hit 3. Did that hit 3? Was that just all-encompassed one? Let's see. I know the business minds of Texas. I know where to go. We could say Texas, but Austin specifically. Schools, to do little parties, and maybe rodeos would be cool. I could write stories about like horses and stuff. I can kind of talk to animals, and trees. It's awesome. So I could talk to them and do rodeos and that mentality. And I would love to, because as a kid I grew up going to rodeos. That'd be quite fun. Yeah, and then for say another reason Texas needs it. Let's think. Yeah. I think there's something magical about this place. I think it's been overrun by certain mentalities, but think about the changing landscape. The beauty all around us. We think there's closed minds and bad people, but it's not always about the people. It's about the place, what you bring to it, what you bring to nature. It's not what you bring to your country in the sense of people and government, but what about flies? This is not your domain. What about the lands? Maybe the land calls you there because it wants you to be there. And this one wants me to be here. I can just feel it. I felt it for a long time. It's why I was born in this state. So I will remain. That feels like 3. Okay, we're gonna go with that was 3. What's one thing that's different about your business and makes it stand out? I would say me. I think I'm what's different about the business is I've got that personality. It's called hardworking and persistent, and I don't have it unless it's something I believe in. I could sit for weeks and do nothing, but the moment that I have a goal, I feel incredibly unstoppable, because it takes a while. Apparently 10 years of writing and thinking and making sure it's right. But I'm a very creative person. I can just see creativity in everything. It's a beautiful world, and it's one to be open to. Let's see what else would be different. Every typewriter's different. I'm gonna have a typewriter that's I'm waiting to find the right typewriter, because they're also around $500, so that's a huge part of what I will be using the grant for, is that $500 to find the right typewriter. And I think with me, with this business, I can reach certain people. I'm such an outsider. I would take personality tests and it would literally reject me. It would say, like error processing literally need a new one. Or I mean in TP, which are actually apparently the best entrepreneurs. As long as we just start the business, we'll have 50, which I do right now. Coconut butter cupcake icing, be a big one. Coconut butter cupcakes. Carrot tops, where I would go to the farmer's market. Take all the like carrot tops and beet tops, the wasted vegetable parts, turn them into pesto, carrot top pesto. Anyway, I have a lot of ideas, but this is one I have the most experience in, and it's the one that I can take with me anywhere. It's always changing because words are always changing, stories are always changing. I have something else. I'm gonna think of it. Hit pause. Come back in a sec. Okay, I think I recall it. With me, I've fallen so many times in this life. My metaphorical bruises probably cover my entire body, and I never want to stop. I want to live till like 120. And it took years to reach. I even wrote about the day that I was like, I have a human body, and I wrote it in marker on a table and put a smiley face, because it was like the age 24. And it was the first time that I felt I wanted to live, like, forever. No death seized by self-infliction. And so with that, I know that I'll never stop, if this is the right business. Which I think it is. In many ways I know it is. But in some ways you don't really know until you start it and try it and you make something with it. If it wants to be created. We're co-creators with businesses. If they want to exist, they will. If people want them to exist, they will. So yeah, that's what makes a difference, which works both ways, but makes a difference to me. Thank you for all you're doing. Even just offering this to people, I think it gives them hope and ideas and reasons and a sense of like empowerment. So thank you. Goodbye.